Here at Strike Gold Lanes in Milwaukee, Pueblo, New Mexico, the title matches of today's JBT tournament, where we are bereft of New Mexicans. We have an all-Arizona scratch division title match. This is Harper Schmidt taking on Brock Bivens. Harper's just about all tied up here in the fifth frame, working on the spare. You see that strike there gives him 88 through 4, working on the theoretical 89 there for Brock. Brock and John Green by far the top two bowlers overall, as Harper just got done eliminating Brock from the scratch division, so the two Arizonans left to play for scratch. In the handicap division, this guy was a runaway train all day today. This is Seth Martinez from Lubbock taking on newcomer Caitlin White from Colorado. So we've got a full representation of the Mountain Conference today, for sure. Seth's got to win that match by 10 to tie and 11 pins to win, and they are behind a scratch, as it's just White's second frame. All good news for her already today. She's already won 2 matches on the step ladder. The previous match was a win over Kendall Balea, which also gave her the girls' scratch title, as they were the 1 and 2 seeds. Kendall, however, still won the U17 division today with a win over John, and gosh, probably averaged 220 plus today, right? Even won that last couple games, so lots of good scores on top today, but not all the way throughout the field. We bowled on Route 66. And the very high finishers had a great look, but still middle to middle low cuts. 86 down in scratch. Brock has been tremendous. 7 out of his 8 games over 200, and well on his way to 8 out of 9, as that 4-bagger gives him a 20-pin lead. First to plus 312 today. In fact, his first 7 games were all over 220, with only a 182 last game, which still won, marring the perfect 8 for 8. Harper's loving this pair, though. He's shot 250, 230 so far on it to get to this title match. And even though the lanes are starting to deteriorate, he's still able to play what's pretty much his A game. He loves doing that fallback line there with not a whole big looping shot. He likes to just kind of fade it back to the pocket with that two-handed power, going against the very down and in ball that's really Brock's A game as well. So we'll see which Arizonan comes on top, as Martinez has trouble over there in the third. No! And he's done that a couple times in this ladder too. The high hits have been carrying well for him. That's partially because of that fallback, and that 3-bagger ties up the match again. Seth with a makeable split. This is always exciting if he covers. Almost gets it. Brock, of course, the reigning TPC champion. $2,000 back last July. He'll be back to defend that title, I'm sure, in, gosh, just 5 months away, believe it or not, before we do it all over again. Oh, man, he tries his best Harper imitation, going right through the schnoz. Very lucky to only leave the 4-pin there. Yep, spares it up, they'll be dead tied. Seth all the way up a plus 364 today, with a high game of 275 scratch. Was about 80 pins clear of Kendall, and then way clear of 3rd place and 4th place, which went to Mia Medina and in 4th. Brock, an outstanding spare shooter, hard and straight. No trouble whatsoever for that. Seth from Lubbock has a high finish of, I should say, had a high finish of 5th on tour. This will be the new high regardless of the result. People always ask me how I remember everybody's names. It's visual cues, and Seth walked into his first tournament with a Lakers cap on from Lubbock. Despite his questionable taste, it's easy to remember his names. He's the Laker fan from Lubbock. Bet. A little better shot, still crashes through for a 4-pin. They started a little tricky for most people today, then they got pretty wide open in the middle of the tournament, and they've gotten tough again. And that's an awkward one. See, there's a sleeper there behind the 4 that it's not going to pick up. So we got to add that 4-pin right where everything lies, which is going to make an interesting spare. Caitlin, hang on, sweetie. That 8's way off spot, so we just want to add the 4 on spot. One of the kids fell down. Yeah, 4 pin right there.
Just add it.
Alright. I was watching that and I'm really confused on what I see right now because it's the 4 pin that fell.
Yeah, the other one came up, so you gotta add it.
We gotta add that in, I guess.
Yeah, so put it in.
That's what I said.
Everything shifted. That's what happened.
Okay, so I'm going to go back there and jump on through. Okay.
The 4 pin
That way the
scissors
4
picked
stays
up the 8
halfway,
pin
yeah.
and then put it back on its spot.
Thanks, Caitlin.
Helicopter.
I don't remember the last time I ever seen that. You figure out what it did. The 4 pin scissors picked up the shifted 8 pin. What is that? That's very unusual. So now, because the 4 pin was the 4 pin didn't pick up, but it's got the 4 pin almost directly on the side. Go figure that one.
Oh, never go.
Never.
Thank you, Kendall.
All right, so that was a very weird respot that was going on over there, but looks like they got the right thing going. Meanwhile, Bivens has a big advantage after Harper was unable to convert a 9-10 in the 8th and consolidates that average with, advantage with a nice strike there in the 9th. He's pacing 227. That means spare strike in the 10th. Harper still has room for 222, so spare and count will win the title for Bivens. Anything less, and Schmidt can win his first. Caitlin's got that bucket and fries reset, and oh! And boy, oh boy, that's, we'll never know for sure, but she probably would have made that if it had found a way to pick it up. It's nobody's fault or problem, but it's just the way it goes in that scenario. Either way, she's the first person to giggle it off, and Brock will have to make a 7-pin to win the title. Caitlin is not lacking for personality. There's no question about that. She is 19 from north of Denver, almost the Wyoming border. Has a couple mile-high titles in a great club up there in Colorado. Just shot her very first 700 series last week, so rapidly improving bowler. Brock to spare for the win. Not a problem at all. If you want one JBT bowler to make a 9 count to save your life, I might pick Brock. I'm talking tour wide.
He bowls like his mother.
Confirm or deny? Caitlin's still causing issues on 13. No kidding. If I were Seth, I would be sitting down having a drink right now. But fills it off guard for a very Brock-esque clean 227 and JBT title number 6. Well done. And for Harper, it's been a little bit of a struggle for late, so this is a real nice confidence boost for him. Matching his career high finish in the scratch division. Go with his 2 career handicap titles.
I can wear this
And of course, they fall now for him every time. Seth leaves that 5-pin. He leads by 8 with the conversion, which he has, and again is giving 10 back. So it's a 2-pin game over there halfway through. So Harper's going to shoot 256, 237, 222. Should be 715 in the finals. Not bad at all. And still not enough.
Good job, Arizona.
Yes. Arizona dominates scratch, and right now lane 13 is dominated handicap finals here. So trying to get a wrap. Seth is from Lubbock. Here's a shock. He throws it two-handed. a very slow, very side rolly two-handed release. So he's got to stay inside and catch as much oil as possible because that ball's going to want to turn the corner hard.
Those panhandlers throw two-handed because of all the wind and water.
Now I don't know how much. I'm gonna get myself in trouble with the Lubbock locals if I comment too much more on that, because there's issue if it's Panhandle or it's West Texas, and I got my hindquarters chewed out a couple times. Two-handed seems to be the way of things. There were 10 PBA junior boys that made the finals this year, and 9 of them were two-handed. And again, I give you scratch champion Brock Bivens. So there's many more ways than one to do it. Caitlin, nice follow through that. Seems if you miss right, the ball's just not thinking about climbing, so with a friction spot that was helpful before is not there anymore. And if you miss left of that, it's just pure friction. So the shot that the bowlers had that they were scoring on is pretty much disintegrated at this point. Dad says, yeah. Win another. Good job, son. Dad says, I wish I could do that to my hair. There he goes. Alright, Caitlin's got 75 through 5, spare working. Still basically a couple pin game here when you factor in the handicap difference. 7th frame, title match. Boy, and again, a multi-cluster light hit. Yes, thank goodness the 8-pin fell out. Caitlin, one of the crew of Coloradans. We had a great initial trip there in October. A lot came down today. We'll be up in their state in Pueblo in a couple of weeks. Glad to see them. We'll see a ton of them in April. From the left side this time. Oh, man. Found another way to miss that spare. No, you can't. You're right. I haven't seen it yet. That's Caitlin's mom, who I found out was an LA Ram cheerleader back in the day. Seth might want her autograph as a Los Angeles fan of everything. She already rubbed it in that her beloved Rams took out my beloved Bucks. I won't be over that for another year. She's also been working her way through the biggest crossword puzzles I've ever seen. The mom, that is. Not Caitlin. So Caitlin having trouble coming up light, Seth having trouble coming up high, and the lane conditions magnifying their errors on either side there. He's got to stay calm and make his spare. We talked to him earlier in the match, or earlier before the match, about how the two-edged sword of being a top seed. Of course, we see it seemingly every year in the U.S. Open. These bowlers lead by hundreds and hundreds of pins, only to lose that title match. And that chop is not going to help as they trade opens to basically keep the match tied. But you know, you have all that momentum going 300 up, and then you got to freeze for an hour over there in the practice lane. But you know, you lose that competitive mentality, and you got to ramp all the way back up for this one last game. That said, in a step ladder format, you take being the top seed every time. I said you can bowl the first match and try and come in 5th by accident. I said nope, I'll take that 1 seed, thank you very much. Still, he's giving 10 and leads by 9, so a 1-pin game, 3 frames to go, both bowlers on open. This is like a 3-frame roll-off. Oh man, real nice shot there, leads the half 10. Right back here tomorrow morning in the beautiful northwest New Mexico. We are about 20 minutes north of Santa Fe, heading towards places like Taos, Los Alamos, Sanes. Pretty country up here. Nice spare in the 8th for Seth. Well, Caitlin's got a chance to swipe this title away right here. She is almost tied twice. Caitlin needed 20 pins in the 10th to tie the first match against Mia, and doubled to swipe that match away. And then Kendall needed strike on her fill ball to tie the girls' scratch match, and she was unable to get that. So she's been escaping trouble all day. This will keep it a 1-pin match if she can convert this 10-pin in the 8th. And, oh, just kicks it over. Man, if only Caitlin would come out of her shell a little bit and show some personality, she'd be an interesting bowler. She is entertaining. And now she needs to throw her 2 best shots if she can, 9th and 10th. And again, light on that left-hand lane. And again, a multi-pin cluster to have to shoot at. And it's also 3 more pins of count that she's dropped, which actually flip-flops the lead over to Seth in that scenario. Gotta find a way to make the spare this time. That's a pretty good attempt. Oh, ball never picks up a roll. And who needs to narrate when the bowler's narrating the match herself? She is done with that 2-4 combination. She wants never to see it again. And now Seth has been handed the opportunity to finish this match off here before White can get up in her 10th. Clean 9th and 10th will make Caitlin double. A double somewhere here and Seth wins. No, no! And now we have an I don't want it, you take it. No, I don't want it, you take it. Oh, I could never, you take it. Oh, you're a nice young lady. Oh, you've been bowling so good all day. It has turned into a war of attrition in these last few frames. Seth needs to get these 2 pins a count here. I know he's angry that he left the split, but these 2 pins absolutely matter in this situation. Oh no, and I know he was trying to get the 2, but only got the 1 here. If he had gotten the 2, they'd be dead tied heading into the 10th. Instead, now Caitlin has a 1-pin lead heading into the 10th. He's got to win by 10. He leads by 9. That was a vicious chop right there of that 6-10. Yikes! So Caitlin cannot be shut out now. And essentially whatever Seth does here in the 10th, she'll have to do. Wow. First to mark wins. Oh, it does. Excellent recovery to get that first strike there in the 10th. Boy, he would dearly love one more. If he spares here, any kind of spare, that's 154. And Caitlin would need 20 pins in the 10th to win by a pin. And again, if he strikes, she'll have to strike. What a giant shot here. Both bowlers looking for their first JBT title. Seth's been looking for it a lot longer. It's close. That is huge that 10 pin fell out of that, because he needs every pin account that he can get. And this is now a should make situation for this spare. Losing that extra pin, if that 10 pin had stand, would have been huge, and he would have had a tough decision to make if he's watching the scoreboard as closely as we are, which he probably is and probably shouldn't, as to whether to have gone for that split completely. As it is, a much more makeable 4-7, which he does cover for 155, for 154 rather. Caitlin, any combination of 20 pins is 145 plus 10 for a 1-pin win. Boy, throwing the strike the first time is hugely important. Takes a lot of pressure off, not having to strike on the fill ball. And she throws her best shot again. She did this back in the first match. She did this back in the first match where she needed 20 to tie. I thought cheerleaders were good under pressure.
We're doing the same thing over here.
It is always harder on the parents than it is the bowlers, I guarantee you. Any spare now to win. Strike here obviously is a winner. That's way over. She is going to have to convert the 10 pin in the 10th frame for a 1-pin win. Mom is gone. Seth's dad is as relaxed as can be. I don't know how she's doing that. Spare to win. If not, we have overtime. She got it! Oh. 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 What a nice match as it turned out. A 1-pin win. Is that not what it's all about? Oh. So I'm going to put... What a exciting title match as that turned out to be in the handicap division. Kind of a war of attrition there. Both bowlers did so well all today. Your handicap division runner-up, give him a nice hand, Seth Martinez. The scratch division runner-up, matches his career high finish in the scratch, but he's got 2 JBT titles, Harper Schmitz. Scratch division champion is our reigning TPC champion, and you see why. That's his 6th career JBT title, Ralph Gibbons. And little Miss Houdini in the handicap division, doubling in the first match to win, avoiding the roll-off in the second match to win, and getting exactly the 20 pins she needed in the title match to win by 1 pin for her first career JBT title, Caitlin White. Thanks for sticking around and cheering them on. It was entertaining. Go out and have fun and be safe tonight. We do it all over again tomorrow morning.
If I known who that dancing, I would turn the music on.
Well, I think she's ready now. I mean, I wouldn't stop her.